Here we are at Uncle Johnny's Hostel right here on the AT, and the trail comes right down there and then crosses the bridge.
Let's do this.
We're all packed up and ready to go.
Need my jacket.
I was gonna say.
You get cold like me, so that's good.
About to do 50 miles on the Roan Highlands section of the Appalachian Trail. You guys ready to go? Man, look like an excited bunch of people right here.
It's gonna rain all day, should be good.
We should be hitting Hump Mountain in 4.9 miles, but it's about 2,600 foot climb, so it's gonna be a nice one. We got Two-Tone over here.
Back on the scene.
Hike together on the PCT. We got Cannonball and my cousin Hunter. Hardcore Steph. Little Buzzy. Samurai Joe. Okay, let's do this thing. Well, you can tell we're back on the AT, not on the Pacific Crest Trail, not on the Florida Trail. It's climbing and rocks. You know, they like to say that the Appalachian Trail is just a big green tunnel, but that's not the case. Looks like a good spot. This is where it starts to get kind of a little bit more fun as you get closer to the highlands. Man, I love it. I love it. Well, there's a lot of rocks out here already. I'll tell you one thing I love about the Appalachian Trail is it's the cool ridge walks. There's a lot of them because you're always climbing up and down mountains on this trail. It's not long climbs that last 12, 15 miles that you find on the PCT. We're literally on a ridge climbing up here, and shortly these trees that you can't really tell they're not too tall because we're getting higher up here. We're around 5,200 feet, which is pretty high for the AT. It gets higher obviously, but and we're getting into clouds, also getting into a little bit of rain. Oh, we just got to the first part of the ball, and it's a little bit darker. There's actually people coming down right there. You can barely make them out. We're gonna be going to the top up there. We got some rain falling. Doesn't look too bad behind us. Once we get up here to this hill, we'll be able to tell what this cloud looks like that's in front of me, and whether or not we need to kind of head back down to tree cover for a little bit, or if we're going to be able to go up and over. Here, I'll let you guys see. Yeah. There you go. Right there's the top. If you look this way, you can see where we're going. Just follow the grassy balds. There's actually some people down there. Probably can't quite make it out. It's a beautiful section of the AT, man. I tell you, if you have not been out here, right off Interstate 26, shoot into Erwin, Tennessee, hit up Uncle Johnny's. Make sure to pick up a proper guide for the trail, either AWOL Appalachian Trail Guide, or my favorite, Gut Hook, has an application for all your cell phone devices. I'm using Gut Hook's app. Almost there. Almost there. We're almost to the top. Not much further now. It's kind of close to the end of April. I think it's like April 23rd. 24th. So as you see, still pretty cold weather down here in Tennessee, North Carolina. Well, this looks like a summit. Daniel ran up this mother.
Yeah, baby. Now it's when you eat that Jolly Rancher.
We got some dark clouds coming in. We got up to the tallest spot in just the right time. Okay, we'll sit here and wait for the crew. Well, we're just taking a little lunch break. You feel like you're back out in the Sierras?
Absolutely.
Well, we're making our way down. Right up there's the top of Hump Mountain. Oh, it's windy. Heck yeah, it is. Roan Highlands, man, this is a pretty special place right here. Similar to Grayson Highlands, just not as big and open.
Dude, that looks bad.
I know, doesn't that look bad? It's like raining hard over there.
If we stay in the shelter all day, like waiting out the storm, we can get back on trail later on.
Yeah, we'll hit it up. We only have 4 miles to our camp spot after Overmountain Shelter.
That's nice.
We are walking right next to some darker clouds. We haven't heard any thunder. Well, this is more what the AT is like right here. The clouds caught us. We're heading up to a little hump. And it's definitely a lot wetter now. But hey man, I want to get all the experiences you can get in a 50-mile hike. So I live for the weather. I love it. If it rains, it rains. However, no one likes a thunderstorm on top of a bald. Calling for thunderstorms, but at least as of right now, just a little rain, harmless. Well, we just made it to the top of Little Hump Mountain. It's still raining, but it's not as windy, but it's cooler. As long as I stay moving and stay good, we're gonna be going down too, so it shouldn't be as bad. Not much to look at now. I don't even know how much my camera lens is fogging up. I can't even see Daniel down there. It's wet, it's windy, it's cold on the Roan Highlands of the Appalachian Trail. Well, it's still raining and we're still walking. Not too bad. This is the AT right here. This is what it's about. This is what makes this trail hard. The elements like this, the rain, especially for the hikers this year, 2016, it looks like it's already been a much wetter season than it was when I did it in 2014. But my next long trail will be the Pacific Northwest Trail, 1,200 miles next summer, and the Superior Hiking Trail, 300 miles this September. But guys, this is what it's all about, man. This is why you really should get out here and do it. It's not always easy. This is cold. It's cold right now. It's cold. My hands are cold. My feet are soaked. I'm sweating up the inside of my rain suit, so I feel like I'm actually wet. You know, that's what happens. I'm here to tell you, when you're at 5,000 feet and it's 48 degrees and it's windy and it's raining, hypothermia can set in pretty quickly. So hopefully my cousin's doing good back there. It's his first long hike. Really vital to make sure you have the right gear when you come out here in elements like this. Make sure you have yourself a good rain jacket that you can trust. Every rain jacket is gonna eventually either wet through or you're gonna sweat it out, so you will get wet. So then make sure that you have yourself some backup clothing and a good dry bag deep in your pack. So the second you get to camp, you can take that off and take off all the wet stuff and put on the nice dry base layers. I really prefer base layers. Really nice, warm you up real fast and jump in your sleeping bag. Well, we made it in the rain. Overmountain Shelter. We went up and over Hump Mountain, up and over Little Hump. It's still raining. It's windy. It's cold. We're gonna dry off a little bit, see if there's anybody here. But man, this is a great one. I can't help but think of being here with my hiking buddy Snorlax. We met at the Georgia-North Carolina border and hiked all the way to Shenandoah together. We pitched our tents actually right over here in our videos. It was a great time.
Me and Will were talking about it earlier.
There's like, it's reinforced on the inside, and I don't think it's
dry area this year.
I'll check
Every
it
time
later.
I've hiked on the it's been soaking wet. See, isn't it different?
Good enough though. Am I running out of gas?
Well, we're leaving Overmountain Shelter. That was a really cool place, and we got to wait out the rain for a little bit, dry off. Okay, let's roll. Wanted you guys to see how green the AT is through here. No leaves yet on any of these trees, but the ground is definitely full of life. Well, for only hiking about 12 miles, we got it all today. We really did. It was a good tester at Overmountain Shelter. Everybody was really wet and cold, and honestly, some of us didn't hang around there too long to freeze. It's just about perfect right now, though. I'm not sure if that's where we're going. I think that's where we're camping tonight, up there. I know it's a bald, and I think behind it is Roan Mountain. Here's a shot of where we were earlier today. That's Big Hump, or Hump Mountain, and Little Hump. That's where we were. It's extremely windy. It was great up there. Well, we're climbing up a grassy ridge. It's off of the AT, right at the our 12 and a half, pretty much 12 and a half mile point of our day. So yeah, we're gonna climb up here to the top and camp, but I think it's about a half a mile off trail. So it's a little out of the way. But it's this bald is supposedly one of the highest ones in the Roan Highlands. Well, when you start getting closer to 6,000 foot peaks, the rhododendron gets lower to the ground. It's pretty extreme through here, actually. But it's essentially a 300 foot straight up climb. Yeah, we're in the clouds, and it does look a little darker down there, like they're probably getting rain. But haven't heard any thunder all day, and we should have pretty clear service up here. Just to check, make sure there's not going to be any thunderstorms coming through. We're going to camp up here on a exposed bald. We made it to our camp spot off a grassy ridge. This is pretty nice, huh? Wow, this is cool.
Yeah, I hope we get some sunshine in the morning.
Yeah, that'll be great.
Pointed east.
You made it. How was it?
Not too bad.
Yeah. Not too bad. We had it all today too.
Right.
It's nice being able to look back and see where we were, you know. Well, I'm in my tent doing a little cooking. Gotta be careful. Don't want it to fall over inside of here. But not too bad. Honestly, it's raining, as you guys can hear. But this Zpacks is doing great. I'm not worried about it. We are on top of a bald, so hopefully we have no storms tonight. This is really not where I would have preferred to have camped, but we're gonna make it happen. Well, here it is. This is the whole shebang right here. Look at this cloud right there. It kind of looks like a mountain rising through the mist. Well, my Zpacks tent has really held up well. I'm extremely impressed with it, with these strong winds that have been coming through here. Just whipping right through here. The tree is providing me a little bit of cover, but the wind is really coming strong, so it's important to make sure you get the pitch much lower to the ground. This is the side that the wind's coming from, and as you can see, I've got it pretty much staked all the way down. definitely still standing strong. Night one has been absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. Well, this is what it's looking like now that we just got up. It's windy. We're in the clouds. Well, this is the start of day 2. It's windy and cold, but we survived the night. Everybody's tents withstood the strong winds, and the wind changed direction in the middle of the night. Really tested our tents from multiple directions, so everything held up really well. But it's cold. Back at Jane Bald, it's not quite as clear of a day as it was the day I was here in 2014 when I thru hiked. Well, we just made it back into the forest. I think this is only temporary, but you can hear the wind just howling above us, but it's not so bad in here, but it's still windy, don't get me wrong. Just not what it is out there. So enjoy this for a little bit before we climb up Roan Mountain. We just left High Knob Shelter, the highest shelter on the AT. We've had 2 casualties so far. Hunter has decided to hitchhike out of here. The weather's been pretty intense, and Steve is worried about Hunter. Wanted to make sure he made it safely, so he's helping him hitchhike out of here. And Stephanie is behind us somewhere. We waited for her for about 2 hours. Still heading down from High Knob on Roan Mountain. I remember this climb on the AT. It was definitely a butt kicker. Much easier going down. Trying out the Brooks Cascadia 11s on this hike, and so far they're great. I saw one guy that was wearing them from the beginning, and he had some holes in them, but I couldn't tell if that was a defect like the 10s or if it was simply he just maybe has an odd gait. So these are working really well so far. This is a beautiful section right here. We just came down. This is the bottom of Roan Mountain. So pretty much we're getting close to, I think, the gap. We might have a little bit more decline to go. Actually, we still do. But pretty cool section. All this short grass with the flowers starting to bloom. But we're moving pretty fast. It's much easier going downhill. Keep going. Well, this is a good little uphill. Nice little 200 footer just to get your blood flowing a little bit. It's always fun on the AT when you think you're going to be going down. They throw in like a little 200 foot up.
That's so good.
It's kind of nice. Well, yeah, we would have pretty sick views right now if it wasn't for the clouds. Walking on this ridge just south of Roan Mountain. I think these little ridge walks on the AT are really special. Even in the clouds, they're kind of cool. As we've gotten lower, we just have more undergrowth, a lot more greenery. I love the AT though. You always have water sources. You don't have to carry much water at all. And the water's always coming, usually, especially in the south, always coming out of the ground. So it's a good clean source. I rarely filter. Actually, I stopped filtering on the AT, so it's not too bad. But it's definitely something I'd be a little bit more cautious around the shelters, because just like at our last shelter, everyone was going to the restroom just north of where the water source was. So that kind of situation, I usually bypass the water like that altogether. Yeah, pretty certain right there in the distance is Unica Mountain. We're gonna be there tomorrow.
It's like a traditional redbeard.
There we go.
Right
Yeah, the only difference is I'm not taking the picture.
What's great about the AT is you always are coming across great camp spots like this, and so you never really have to worry about, you know, finding a camp spot at night, even when there's a lot of people, because there's just so many good camp spots. And this is right on the trail. Well, we are just trying to finish the day off. We've got about 3 miles left, and it's about 5 o'clock. Perfect temperature to be hiking in right now. Obviously no sun, which is nice. And we haven't really been seeing many through hikers in the last like few hours. But slight ups and downs now. We're kind of done with our big climbs for the day. And it's just beautiful, real peaceful. The birds. Well, we made it to camp spot number 2 today after 16.2 miles. It was a pretty tough day. We climbed up and over Roan Mountain and a few other peaks. And of course, that's just the AT for you. It's a lot of climbing, but 16.2 miles isn't too bad. This is our camp spot for the evening. This is Joe's spot here, the Altaplex. And then we got Buzz here with his duplex tent. And this is my spot here, Zpacks that I've been using a lot recently. And I'm using a new Arcall backpack now, which I'm really liking, and it's very comfortable. And then here's Two Tone's duplex tent set up. Hard to see with that camo. So it's going to be a nice night 2. We're down a few people. Well, after a long day of hiking on the Appalachian Trail, it's always nice to just sit down and relax and make a little fire. We're enjoying it here tonight, that's for sure. Well, it's the start of day 3, and we had a great camp spot here on this mountain ridge last night, and we had a small fire over there. It was wonderful. About to take down my Zpacks tent, and I've just really been loving this tent. I've used it on pretty much every hike since I've moved down here to Florida. I tried out the Altaplex as well, but I love the Zpacks. It's definitely one person tent, but if you just sleep in your tent and that's all you use it for, it's great. It's a perfect size for that. Well, we're on the trail and we're gonna be hiking to Unica Mountain. That's kind of the highlight spot for the day, and this is it right here, this big mountain. On top is all spruce trees, so it's got a really unique feel for the south. So we're gonna take a lunch break up there. Well, we are making our last climb of the hike up to Unica Mountain. It's 5,100 feet in elevation. Clear skies today, so it's a lot warmer. The AT will kick your butt when you just get off the couch and come out here and do 50 miles in 3 days. Well, I'm right on the ridge line of Unica. When you get up here, you start to hit some spruce trees. We're in a little bit thicker bit back there, but at the very tip top is the best part. So check your gut hook cap if you're using that, and make sure you're at the top. Well, this is the top of Unica Mountain, and it's just incredible spruce forest. It's about 10 degrees cooler in here than it is right out there in the sun. Pretty amazing. And that's Unica Mountain right there, where we stopped and took a break and had lunch in the spruce forest. Well, we're getting close to the top beauty spot, and you can see Unica Mountain back there. Well, on top of beauty spot, it's incredible views all around. I'm actually kind of descending it right now. There's a lot of people up top. Just beautiful out here, it really is. It's super clear. It's about 70, mid 70s, a little toasty, not too bad. Well, we're starting off on our last day to the car. We camped near a shelter last night after doing about 17 miles. So we had some bigger days in a row. Hardcore Steph was behind us the entire trip, but she got up early the last 2 days and hiked in the dark for a little bit, and then hiked late into the evening, and she's actually ahead of us now. She's probably gonna beat us to Uncle Johnny's Hostel. So we only have 4 miles. Well, this is the last bit of hiking. The Nolichucky River down there. It's really hard to make out through the leaves, but we're at 1,900 feet in elevation, and it's so pretty down here. The leaves are really on most of the trees, so so obviously it just kind of changes the feel and the colors as you look up across the mountains. Are just super green. Well, we're crossing the railroad, heading into Irwin. Well, we're crossing the bridge over the Nolichucky River. Uncle Johnny's Hostel is right over there. It's a great position. We're actually on the AT right here. This river, you can't really tell just how tucked down in here it is until you've hiked the AT through here, because you drop down from this ridge line straight down from probably about 5,000 feet down to here, and then on the backside you climb up to 5,100 feet. Well, we made it to Uncle Johnny's Hostel. There's a lot of hikers here. Big stop in Irwin right here. Well, this is where Zpacks finishes our hikes. We're celebrating our 50-mile conquest with some food from Sierra Nevada Brewing and some beer. Daniel, aka Two Tone, he works here, so it's a pretty cool place.
Yeah.
Eating food is so much better after a long hike, you know, right, guys?
Right.